Bronco. Bronco, first four-wheel drive sports car, blazing a new trail of excitement.
Welcome everybody to the 2024 Ford Bronco Heritage Limited. We are in a very lush forest to explore the off-road credentials of this, because the last time I had the Bronco, it was a very road-based variant. This Heritage Limited is part of the Sasquatch package. So as you can see, the metal off-road bumpers, the off-road tires, and we do have a trail with rain to make it just that much more interesting. Let's see how this two-door version of the Bronco is. So, the Bronco Heritage Limited. This is a tribute to the original Bronco, as you can tell from the paint scheme. So, they're going to only make 1966 because it is a tribute to the original 1966 Bronco. I love the paint. It's oyster blue and it contrasts very well with the white grille. I have driven a Bronco before, but that was the four-door soft top and a road-going version. This is the two-door hard top, and it has the Sasquatch pack, which means it's extremely ready to take any terrain you want to throw it. As you can see, I am in a trail, so I have been trying to exploit the potential of this vehicle, but I'm barely scratching the surface because this vehicle is that good. When you come to the side is when you realize this is the shorter Bronco, the two-door Bronco. And I personally had a lot of apprehension because the four-door Bronco was pretty spacious, pretty accommodating for passengers in the back. But surprisingly, the two-door is as well. I know getting in and getting out can be a little tricky in the two-door because you have to slide the seat forward. But once you pass that obstacle, the space isn't that bad. The two-door means the wheelbase is much shorter, so you can enjoy it in off-roading and even in urban driving. When you want to take tight turns, tight U-turns, maneuvering through tight parking spaces, the two-door is really handy. You can take out the doors just like a regular Bronco, and since this is a Sasquatch, you can see this has full-blooded all-terrain tires with these retro-looking wheels, which I again really like. Touches like this here and there make sure that Ford has stuck true to its Heritage Limited. And yes, there is a Heritage version and a Heritage Limited. This is the Limited, so which means the stripe you see on the side is painted. It's not a sticker job, a cheaper version. This is the real deal. And the Bronco emblem on the fender, that's metal as well, not the plastic or a sticker like you would find in the cheaper Heritage version. Yes, it has a dual tone roof as well. It's a removable hard top, and you can also get it in a soft top, but I like this hard top. Now that I've experienced the soft top and the hard top, I prefer this because noise insulation is better. And if the weather was better, I'd probably have the roof out. Having said that, the interior is also very nice, and for the Heritage, they have sort of like a brown interior, which I really like. And again, it's a throwback to the older Bronco, the old leather feel, and I really like that. It really uplifts the whole interior experience of this particular Bronco. Boot space is also a bit compromised because the wheelbase, but not a deal breaker, because when you're buying a vehicle like this, you have a very, very specific objective: to just have fun. I'm now behind the wheel of the Bronco Heritage Limited, so let's get the numbers out of the way. It's very familiar, similar to the previous Bronco I had. So this has a 2.7 litre V6 EcoBoost engine, produces about 300 odd horsepower, is a full-time four-wheel drive. You do have the GOAT modes as well, so you have 2H, 4L, 4H and 4A. So I've been using 4A because the car detects how much slip, how much power to send to each wheel, and it's doing a great job because I have been driving this SUV in some very, very tricky terrain. As you can see, the car is filthy on the outside. But yeah, if I started to drive and I set off, and I am still driving on the forest, so pardon, I won't be able to go too fast. But yeah, it's otherwise very comfortable. And on this same trail, I have taken a few other off-road vehicles as well. I've taken its arch rival, the Wrangler, as well a few years back. And I can safely say that this is way more comfortable than a Wrangler can ever be. And that's the part I love the most about the Bronco. It's still very rugged, it's still very off-road centric, but it doesn't mean that it's compromising on daily usability. I mean, on the highway, you can daily one on the highway. Honestly, it doesn't take too much steering input like the Wrangler to keep it straight. It stays true and track on the highway. It has adaptive cruise control, lane keep, everything which the Wrangler does not have, and it just feels very, very nice. You also sit much higher up in the Bronco than you would compared to the Wrangler, which already is a big plus point because you have such a clear point of view. You have the whole hood visibility, which I really, really like. And Overall, what can I say? I just really like the Bronco. I enjoyed it the last time, and now living with it again for a week and just driving in a variety of situations in city traffic, on the highway, on the off-roading trails. It's a very broken surface. Honestly, I'm sure the camera is shaking a bit, but it's just not as bad on the inside because the combination of the suspension, the tires and the seats works so well in tandem that you don't feel anything at all. I'm taking some real big bumps now. It's going to test the departure and the approach angle, but it's no issues at all. And these are steel metal bumpers, so no issues even if they scrape. It's not really going to damage anything. But yeah, what can I say? It's just very easy, very nice. And I'm not even like a very veteran off-roader, to be very honest with you, but this car makes it so easy. Like, I have never been worried. I just put it into 4 auto. In fact, I'm right now in 2-wheel drive mode, but if I shift it into 4 auto, it says 4x4 shift in progress, and there it is, 4 auto. So then it detects for me how much power to send, and I'm on some really bad surface, but this thing is taking everything like a champ. In conclusion then, the 2024 Ford Bronco Heritage Limited. Well, personally, I think it's a very cool SUV, especially with all the retro bits and the off-road kit that this has. The Sasquatch pack makes this car literally invisible off-road. And I have been experiencing this vehicle on the trails, going through some water puddles, experiencing the articulation on different terrain. It's a beast. Honestly, I have never felt like this vehicle will get stuck, and that's a very assuring feeling. However, what's not assuring is the price. This Heritage Limited is roughly around $95,000 Canadian, and this is before taxes. So with taxes and registration, it's easily gonna go above the 100,000 mark, and that's a lot of money for a Bronco. Honestly, as good as the car is, $100,000 is a big sum of money, and for a Bronco, it's really high. I mean, if I had a $100,000 budget, I might just look elsewhere. Maybe go for something like a Defender, which is much more luxurious inside, has the brand value of the Land Rover badge as well. But again, I know this car has its dedicated set of fans, and I know that a true Bronco fan would go for nothing else but the Heritage Limited, because it is also a tribute. So good luck at getting your hand at one of the 1,966 pieces if you can.